Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Today, we're going to talk about the best star solutions for online ordering applications. Given what's kind of going on in the world right now, I think everyone is pretty aware that online ordering applications are very important to restaurants at this time, and we want to tell you guys about some of the solutions that you can implement to help your restaurants survive during this outbreak. So today, we're going to be presented by John Levin. He's our Director of Product Management at Star Micronics. And then at the end, we're going to have a Q&A with both him and Augusto from our sales team. All questions can be submitted via the chat box or in the questions section. You guys will all be muted for the duration of the presentation, so please submit questions there. And as a reminder, this is being recorded, so if you do miss anything or have to drop off, we'll make sure to send you the recorded version following the webinar today. So, John, you can go ahead and kick us off.
Thank you, Brianna. As Brianna mentioned, I'm the product director here at Star Micronics America. I work with a lot of our software partners. So today we're going to talk about some of the solutions that are really important for online ordering. And forgive me if any of my work from home technology fails me. There we go. So first, we're going to start about kind of the state of the online ordering market today, a little bit about how COVID-19 is affecting that. We're going to talk about specifically some of the methods for handling orders coming into the restaurant from online ordering services. We're going to talk about our CloudPRNT technology and how that can be applied to this application. We're going to talk about some of the printers that are compatible with CloudPRNT, and then we're also going to talk about some of the solutions using our printers in the market today. So without further ado, as everyone on this call knows, I'm sure online ordering has been growing exponentially in our market. We talk about it a lot in online food ordering, but really it's on all aspects of the market. Just ordered my groceries from Instacart yesterday. So really, we're getting very accustomed to ordering things from home. So although that's already been growing very quickly, of course, now the current situation with COVID-19, that really has brought it to the forefront and made it not just a desire of people, but a need. And something that's very critical to have available. So even though most people have had experience using online services, whether it's food, groceries, retail, etc., and really, when you look at the surveys, most people have had some experience with these orders. It's not growing like it should in this kind of work from home quarantine type environment. And a big part of that is people, especially small businesses, are playing catch up a little bit. And even some of our solution provider partners, whether it's software or resellers, are playing catch up a little bit too, to make sure that they have the solutions in their portfolio available to suit the needs of businesses in this current environment. So we're getting a lot of requests from new partners and our existing partners who are looking at expanding their curbside ordering, online ordering, delivery, etc. So we thought it'd be a good time to talk about where the printer fits into that and what some of the options are and some of the best solutions to help our solution provider partners be successful in this kind of wild times that we're living in right now. So, before we get started, everyone's probably gone into a restaurant and seen the kind of pile of tablets at the front of the restaurant with all the orders coming in. That's kind of become the norm in a lot of locations. But a lot of people might wonder, why do I need a printer specifically for my online ordering solution? Isn't the tablet enough? So there are quite a lot of benefits to having a printer in addition to that tablet. For example, the order can go directly to the kitchen, even if the tablet is not in the kitchen. So a lot of times the tablet will be kind of at the front of the house or by the point of sale, where they can quickly grab it and enter orders into the point of sale in the case of non-integrated online ordering. But usually it makes a lot of sense to have the kitchen order ticket be coming out in the kitchen. So when you separate the printer where the orders are coming from with the tablet, that can kind of make a lot of logistical sense in a quick serve restaurant. A lot of times what people will do, and unfortunately I've sat in line at quick serve restaurants and waited for people to, take the online orders coming in from the tablet and enter it into the point of sale. In the case of non-integrated online ordering, what that means is the order doesn't really start until it's entered into the point of sale. And when things get busy, that can cause a delay. So, a nice thing could potentially be, depending on how it's set up, that the kitchen ticket might print, the chef can get started preparing the food, regardless of what's happening at the cash register. A big thing is increased order accuracy. When you have that piece of paper coming directly from the ordering service, rather than a human taking it from the tablet, entering it in the point of sale, and then maybe it gets kicked out of a kitchen printer, there's just a lot less potential mistakes that can happen. Of course, the people or the entity that gets blamed by the diner when an order isn't prepared properly, oftentimes it's who they ordered from, right? So it's the online ordering platform or online ordering service that they ordered from, when that may not in reality be the case. A mistake may have been made in the order entry at the restaurant. So having that piece of paper that can go right to the kitchen, that's straight from the online ordering service and can travel throughout the kitchen with the meal as it's prepared, as would typically be done with any other kitchen ticket, is really a huge benefit to making sure the diner has a really good experience. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the order, the ticket can then be attached to the takeout bag really easily. So either with a label or a staple or tape or what have you. If you've already got that printed ticket that traveled with the meal, it's really easy to stick that onto the bag and out the door it goes, and everything's really seamless. So there's a lot of benefits to having an actual online ordering printer for your service. So there are two kind of most common ways to handle those order ticket printing methods. There's the order going to the tablet that's inside the restaurant, tablet or maybe some other device, but usually it's a tablet. And then the tablet is sending that print job to the printer. Or increasingly, we're seeing where the online ordering service, their cloud, is communicating with the printer directly, sending the order straight to the printer in the case of smart printers. And then maybe or maybe not, they have a tablet. So you kind of separate the tablet from the printer. And we'll talk about both of these situations and kind of, some of the benefits of maybe going with direct to the printer. So we'll start with printing from the local device, because this is probably what's most common in the market today. And just judging from what people are reaching out to us and asking for, this is still kind of the most prevalent solution, or at least where most people start. So in this case, there's a device in the restaurant, often a tablet, just because it's small and it's relatively affordable and comfortable for people to use. But sometimes it might be some sort of web application or some other application on a PC-based point of sale terminal or something like that. But there's some device in the restaurant that's communicating with the online ordering service server and taking in the orders. And then that local device is then sending the order directly to the printer. And just a reminder, in these scenarios, I'm focusing more on non-integrated online ordering service. Of course, there's a different story when the online ordering service is integrated with the point of sale application. Then they're typically, that order gets fed into the normal point of sale process, and the kitchen tickets get fired out through the point of sale to the existing kitchen printers and things like that. So here we're talking about non-integrated online ordering service, which is there are many and are probably the bulk of the market, especially in SMBs. So in this case, you are talking from a local device, often a tablet, directly to the printer. So really, we see you can do that with any number of interfaces on the printer. Depending on the device, it might be USB, a hardwired Ethernet, a wireless Ethernet, or wireless network, lightning connectivity, which is an industry first for STAR, or Bluetooth. I see most commonly, and really what I recommend in restaurants is hardwiring whenever possible. Using either the direct lightning connection is really nice if your device in the restaurant is an iPad, or giving it a hardwired network connection when possible. It just removing wireless technology, although a lot of people use it and use it very successfully. From my perspective, it just removes a potential point of failure. Any kind of hardwired solutions typically going to be a little bit more robust over time. And of course, when you're talking about online ordering, any kind of connectivity issues result in lost orders, result in angry customers, and nobody wins. So when possible, do hardwired solutions, either USB if you're talking to PC or certain Android devices, hardwired Ethernet, or our lightning connection if it's an iPad. Of course, we have many printer options. A couple recommended printers, and I probably should have included our SP700 series on here, which is our kitchen ticket printer. For whatever reason, people most often use thermal printers with the online ordering services. Typically, the printer placement is a little bit different, where thermal technology works pretty well. It's nice and fast, quiet. But I'd recommend one of two series from STAR. Our TSV143 series version, we're on the third version of that, or our MC Print 3 series. And these are all available in a variety of interface options. The TSV143 series is typically, for the most part, it's kind of single interface, the exception being the USB version, which also has the lightning connectivity. Our Bluetooth version, that's also very popular, but like I mentioned, use a hardwired connection when you can. The MC Print 3 series is a really nice newer series from STAR that many of you might already be familiar with. We've got 3 variants of that, depending on what interface you're looking for. This is really nice because they're all at least dual interface, with as many as 4 interfaces available on the same printer model. So that allows you to be more flexible or more easily share a printer between, say, an online ordering tablet via maybe lightning cable and a point of sale solution via Ethernet or whatever. It's just very kind of future proof and adaptable. So that's really nice. The MC Print Theory series has some other really restaurant friendly kind of features. It was really designed from the ground up to be restaurant friendly. All the electronics are at the top of the printer. So if any kind of liquid, a beer gets spilled into the printer, which is already difficult because it's front paper exit and front paper loading. So there's no paper exit on the top of the printer. But say some liquid does get into the printer, it's going to pool at the bottom of the printer where there's no electronics, which is very not typical for a thermal printer or any kind of printer design, and very unique. So it is IP rated. It's a little bit splash resistant and all of that. So really nice for a restaurant. Around all the electronics, we filled the boards with some foam material, so that it's kind of gross to say. I hate to say it, but we get printers returned and we open them up and things crawl out. Pretty gross. But with this series, we actually tested with live insects and found that the foam was very effective by filling all the voids around the kind of the warm circuit board where the bugs like to live, and they have nowhere to stay. So it's a really nice design for restaurants. We just updated the MC-Print 3 series with a new feature that we call SteadyLAN. So what we've heard over and over, and what I've kind of alluded to, is people love hardwired connections, especially in restaurants. You know, a lot of locations, but especially in restaurants. So, you know, and that's something I definitely recommend through my experience as well. So this allows you to use a hardwired connection not only for your printer, but to extend that hardwired connection to the iPad as well. So if you're using an iPad-based online ordering or even point-of-sale solution, SteadyLAN's a really fantastic way to make everything really nice, hardwired, really kind of foolproof. So how it works is you would plug your MC-Print 3 series printer into your router via the Ethernet cable, so it's hardwired to the network. Now, printer's hardwired, but then you're going to take the lightning cable that came with your iPad, and you're going to plug that into the printer and the iPad, and we're going to feed that network connection through the lightning cable to the iPad. So now, not only is your printer hardwired to the network, your communication from the iPad to the printer is over a hardwire, the lightning cable. You're charging the iPad from the printer, 2.4 amps, so it'll fully charge an iPad. And now you're also giving the network connectivity from the printer to the iPad over that hardwired connection. So it's a really, really robust solution. You can take all the Wi-Fi out of your restaurant, and as long as you turn the feature on the MC-Print 3 series, it just works. There's nothing the ISV has to do programming-wise to make SteadyLAN work. And aside from turning the service on or turning the feature on, there's nothing the end user has to do. You know, they don't even have to go into iOS settings and turn it on or configure anything. It just works. So really, really slick solution. We've got a lot of our software partners already using this, and the feedback has been, you know, very, very good. All right, so let's talk about printing directly to the printer. So we talked about situations where the tablet or PC is in the restaurant talking to the online ordering service server and then to the printer. Now we're going to talk about the printer talking directly to the online ordering service in the cloud, kind of separate from the tablet. So we introduced a solution called CloudPRNT, gosh, now two or 3 years ago, and it's really been taking off for online ordering, especially, but also in many point-of-sale situations. And this is really our solution for having the printer, a smart printer, be able to talk directly to the online ordering service cloud, or an online ordering service that supports our CloudPRNT technology. So with CloudPRNT, instead of having the local device talk to the printer, it's the server, whether the server's on site or in the cloud, is talking directly to the printer, and the tablet becomes optional. Most of our partners that are doing online ordering service and using CloudPRNT still typically do have the tablet, but it's really nice to be able to separate the printer from the tablet. We'll talk more about that. But first, how does CloudPRNT work? And I'll get a little bit technical, hopefully not too technical, but a little bit into the nuts and bolts of how CloudPRNT works. Basically, the solution provider, the online ordering service solution provider, will have to integrate our CloudPRNT SDK and build a solution based on CloudPRNT to send the orders to the printer. So how that works is actually you load a URL onto the printer. That's the only configuration really that happens on the printer end. And that's just telling the printer, all right, here's the server you're going to talk to. Here's where to look for new orders on that server. And then the printer is going to pull that URL or pull that server periodically looking for new orders. So the default, I think, is 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, you can reduce that even to 1 second. But the printer every few seconds is going to check, say, here's my status. Do you have a new print job for me, basically? So the IC, like I mentioned, the online ordering service provider is going to integrate our CloudPRNT protocol. It's a REST-based architecture, uses HTTP requests, which are very common web things like HTTP, get, post, and delete, and then everything's formatted in the JSON format. So we built this intentionally in a way that is very common for server and web developers. So it's very easy to understand for the people building these types of solutions. So, the printer is going to pull the server. It's going to, if there's a print job waiting for it, it's going to print it automatically. It's going to provide a print confirmation to the server, and it's also going to give its status to the server. So the printer runs out of paper, for example, the online ordering service server will be alerted to that. And again, because it's all based on HTTP, we were able to design it in a way that's very flexible. So however your server environment is built, or whatever programming language you use for your server, you can work with CloudPRNT. It's very flexible in that way. So as I mentioned, when you use CloudPRNT, you're no longer dependent on having the tablet in the restaurant. Of course, it's still a really nice thing to have. It's a way to, approve, deny orders that come in. You can see all the, your queue of orders. It's still nice to have a screen, especially as the cost of tablets come down. But it's really nice to separate the order printing from the tablet. So both are communicating to the server, but if the tablet fails for whatever reason, you forgot to charge it, or it falls in the fryer or whatever, your orders are still going to print from the printer, because the printer doesn't care what's happening at the tablet. You have nice flexibility because they're totally separated. You can separate where those two devices go in the restaurant, or even across different facilities. Because again, it doesn't really matter where the printer goes, as long as it's able to talk to that server. As long as it has internet access, it can print those orders. Which is also really nice, because it doesn't matter what the IP address of the printer is anymore, because you're not pushing something down to the printer. The printer's checking the server for new orders. So that makes it really easy to maintain. The restaurant manager or IT staff, if they have that, doesn't have to worry about configuring an IP address on the printer or anything like that. Or if the restaurant wants to save some costs and just skip the tablet or skip the screen altogether, which some of our partners are doing, they could just have the printer sitting there and spitting out orders. So that's really nice. It can be a really cost-effective way to do very reliable online ordering. So that's how CloudPRNT works. Let's talk about some of the printer ranges from STAR that support CloudPRNT. That would be good potential options for everybody. So again, we talked about the NC Print 3 series. I joke that it's kind of our Swiss Army printer. It's the ultimate modern technology printing solution really on the market, because it has all that connectivity options, as well as more advanced functionality like CloudPRNT. So really nice restaurant friendly design. All models in the NC Print 3 series are CloudPRNT compatible. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, but another really nice thing that at least two of the models of the NC Print 3 series has is some USB hub functionality. So whether it's from the tablet or from the cloud, you can actually control peripherals connected to the printer, and that's really powerful. We'll talk a little bit more about what you could potentially do with that in an online ordering environment. So of course we have our TSD 654 series CloudPRNT model. We've also got a kitchen printer, the SP700, if you prefer an impact kitchen printer for orders, that's available with CloudPRNT interface as well. And this is our first CloudPRNT compatible series of printer, and it's got some nice benefits. I kind of often refer to this as kind of the quote unquote enterprise grade solution for CloudPRNT. It has a couple features that are unique to it. At least today, you can do things like configure the printer with a USB memory stick. So you can configure that CloudPRNT URL or some of the other, the polling frequency, things like that. You can easily configure that with a USB memory stick. That makes it really easy to provision, a large quantity of printers that are going to be shipped out to customers, and that has been very beneficial to a lot of our partners. Another thing that you can do with the TSP 650 series CloudPRNT model is make it Wi-Fi capable. So we do that with some USB ports. Again, it's the hub functionality on this model as well. You can plug a USB Wi-Fi dongle, and we support a small range of popular USB dongles. So you can either buy a Wi-Fi dongle, one of the supported ones on Amazon or something like that, or we sell it as a version that includes the Wi-Fi dongle in the box, is the TSP 654 IIW. That it's the same printer as this, it just comes with the Wi-Fi adapter in the box. Again, I mentioned I always try and hardwire when possible, but I realize that it's not always possible. I hear from solution providers of ours all the time that they want to put their online ordering service into a restaurant, but the restaurant's not willing to run Ethernet cable and spend that cost and stuff. So you can't tell them, no, I won't support you. You have to give them a wireless solution. We do have that for you. And then finally, we have the TSP 654 SK CloudPRNT. So the SK is the unique part here. This is our solution for printing repositionable liner-free labels. And then it's built around labels from our partner MacStick, very, very popular in the market. Printing labels is really nice in online ordering service because you can take that and just put it directly. It can stick around the restaurant as it's following the dish around the kitchen. You can stick it directly onto the bag or delivery box or coffee or boba tea cup. There's a lot of times where it's just really convenient to be able to take that label and put it directly onto the order itself. And with these labels, you don't have to, it's not peel and stick. We have that available if that's something that you prefer. But this really helps with yield because you can just grab it off the printer and stick it directly onto the bag or the box. Also, it looks just like a roll of thermal receipt paper. It's just sticky on the back of the paper. So what that means is it's flexible in length. So a lot of times with peel and stick labels, it's fixed length, right? So you might have a 3 by 4 inch label, and you've got to make sure that your label is fixed to that. That can sometimes work for things like coffee cup, where you're kind of limited in size anyways. But on to-go orders and things like that, you don't know how long the order is going to be. It's nice to be able to have that flexibility in length, and that's what the linerless label printer with MacStick can deliver for you. So it's available in multiple interfaces as well as the CloudPRNT technology. So I mentioned that on both of those, the TSP, all of those models that I mentioned, the CloudPRNT compatible models, they all have the ability to connect some USB peripherals to the cloud. Really important in point of sale, of course. You can connect a cash drawer, customer-facing display, barcode reader, but it's valuable in online ordering as well because you can connect things like a bump bar or really any HID interface device. You can, so that's very useful for accepting orders or rejecting orders or anything like that. You can use a barcode reader, so you can imagine a scenario where upon pickup, the user, the delivery driver or the restaurant scans a QR code on the order ticket, which means that it's ready to go or something like that. So there's a lot of really creative things that you can do by connecting various peripherals to the printer and then have it either connect to the tablet or go up to the cloud via our CloudPRNT technology. You can connect and use the peripherals with both ways. So both ways we talked about printing orders, either through the tablet or from the cloud. You can use the peripherals connected to the printer. So really powerful. I encourage everyone to kind of get creative in how they use that to make a better online ordering experience for restaurants and for the end users. Another thing that we have available through all of our smart printers, the CloudPRNT capable printers, is our promo print. So that is really, people often think about this, okay, I'm going to put some sort of promotion at the end of my receipts, but it's really valuable for online ordering tickets as well, because that ticket is typically still being attached to the to-go bag or something like that. The diner or shopper is getting or seeing that order ticket. And now the restaurant themselves or the solution provider can help the restaurant with this. They can put some messaging at the end of every order that's attached to the bag. So it be some motion or, hey, order take 20% off. Order again, whatever. Our loyalty pro, in today's world, to protect to make things that you can do is to the and it's free. It just
Sounds like you're
a solution provider, good company in the market. All the really software partners come out, food delivery, in every day. So if you're not working with us yet and are interested to, we hope that you can join this list. One more solution I wanted to mention before we go to questions. We did just release a solution for WooCommerce. So WooCommerce is kind of an e-commerce platform. It's used by both restaurants, but also retail and a lot of other solutions. We did just release a plugin or really updated plugin for WooCommerce, so you can print your receipts and orders from your WooCommerce site to our MC Print series and other printers. Just by it uses the CloudPRNT technology, but it's very easy to implement. You just load the plugin, attach it, and we've got a nice set of videos showing how to set it up. So if anyone's interested in that or using WooCommerce, please feel free to reach out, and we'll give you some guidance on to enable that.